Hey, what's up, guys? So, first video in a while. Right now, Bitcoin is breaking through the 44K resistance that we discussed on Twitter for like the past few weeks. Um, in my opinion, right, if we close above this 44K, I believe that we're going to end up shooting past 52K. And a lot of things are going to change here. And if it happens, you just have to be prepared for it. Um, Usually, Bitcoin historically has never gone through the 0.618 before before the halving. So this would be the first time it's ever done it. If it were to do it, we'll see if it does it. I'll show you historically back in 2017 right here. Oops. See, it got rejected back in 2019, and then the halving was around May of this time, around this time right here. It broke through it in October of 2020. So it broke it after the halving. This chart doesn't go back far enough. Let me find the other Bitcoin chart that goes back further. And this one doesn't either. I apologize. Okay, so this is back in 2013. This is the same story. The halving, well, this was the 2013 to 2016 bear market, or 2014 to 2016. The halving was in July of that year, so it was around this time frame. And once again, Bitcoin got close to breaking the 0.618, but didn't break it. It broke it after the halving. So if we go back to today, if this breaks, this would be out of the norm. And in my opinion, it just changes everything. I think we'd have a decent chance that we would see all-time highs potentially before the halving, which is just crazy to actually say. And I'm not trying to be like the Super Bowl here, but no pun intended, because the Super Bowl is this weekend. But this is definitely a game changer if we break through this area. And I think we would end up going up to 64K, 69K, up to this area. If we break through this, there's not much resistance. So it's just interesting. I don't know what's going to happen. If we zoom back in on the weekly time frame, on this close upcoming on Sunday, if this fails, like let's say this rolls over tomorrow or on Saturday or Sunday, and this just ends up being a huge wick, to me that would be a huge rejection. And then I believe this lower area would 100% come into play, and I think we'd actually end up breaking down. So I think this weekly almost is going to determine the direction, like over the next few months. If we close above this, I think we're going to break through 50K. If we don't, if we close below 44K at this point, this would be a huge rejection, huge wick. Then I think we're going to roll over and then head down to the mid 30s or lower 30s. But right now, it's definitely, the bulls are definitely in control, and the bears are in danger, I would say, at this point. But things can always change fast. We know how crypto moves. But I would say that if this doesn't roll over on Friday tomorrow, I think the likelihood that rolls over on the weekend is pretty low, because most of the trading now is done through the ETF, which is only Monday through Friday. I mean, the weekends haven't really been that crazy, not crazy enough to see a move this large. So I think when the stock market closes tomorrow, this is still up there, then I think the bulls will likely get it. But we will see tomorrow how it looks. And things can always change. Things change fast in crypto. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm not saying this is 100% at this point. It's far from 100%. There's a lot of time left. I'm just saying at this point, whichever direction it chooses, if we close above it, I think we're heading up high. If we don't, a huge rejection, I think we're heading down low. I think we'll know the direction by the end of this week. I'm pretty sure. I'm going to look at Ethereum. Ethereum's been just beautiful with these stair steps up and breaking through. Let me go to the daily time frame because it's a little bit more clear. It's just higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. This is a higher low basically. It came down here, but it didn't go below this area. And now it's working on breaking through this resistance. And I think if it breaks this resistance, Ethereum's probably running up to at least 2,700, and probably it could actually probably go up to 3,000 off this. But a lot of this will just come down to like what Bitcoin does here. I'm gonna look at the total three, which is actually I'll look at the total two. The total two. This is all the altcoin market, including Ethereum. It had this retest right here. It's been retesting this area for a while, for like the past, I guess, 2 months, if not more. And historically, we've seen this in the past two bull markets right before they started. This is the weekly time frame. Notice I'm taking this from the candle body, not the wick above. It did the same thing. It like retested this area and then it shot off and started the bull market. And we're seeing it right now again. And you can even go back to the first altcoin cycle back here, and it kind of did the same thing around this area, kind of retested and then launched. So we're seeing something that suggests that the bull market is actually starting now. And if Bitcoin actually does make this move, then I think, yeah, the bull market is kind of starting now, and it's ahead of schedule. And I think we would end up getting a cycle top more than likely this year. So I would look to the end of this year for a cycle top. If this ends up rolling over, then I think we'll probably see a cycle top in 2025. But I do think if we end up breaking this, we run up to all-time highs, or at least test all-time highs this area. I think we'll end up putting in a cycle top at the end of this year, because after we have the halving, we have the Ethereum ETF, we have money flowing in from the ETF. After that's all done, I think we'll end up in like a sort of mania, like a hype cycle, and the cycle top will be a little bit earlier. So, it's just surprising that Bitcoin is doing this. I've kind of leaned toward this type of move, that the Bitcoin ETF wasn't priced in. The reason why I had been saying that for the past few months, like since October, I thought the ETF confirmation could be priced in, but the Bitcoin ETF itself could not. There was no possible way the Bitcoin ETF could be priced in, because in order for the Bitcoin ETF to be priced in, they needed an ETF to price it in. So it's really not too surprising at this point. So we'll see what happens. We'll see how the weekly closes. I think we'll see. This week will determine it. So